Hey, what's up, gentlemen and ladies? Happy Restoration of Lithuania's Statehood Day. Yes, that's a real thing. Shout out to them Lithuanian viewers. Now, before anything else, I would like to apologize if my voice sounds a little bit bad because, well, firstly, I am sick, and secondly, I am recording this at 2 in the morning, which has become pretty standard in most of my videos nowadays, honestly, but, yeah. So today, as if by pure coincidence, or maybe not, Tabata released a new statement about basically people's complaints and all that kind of stuff having to do with the story of Final Fantasy 15 and a little bit more insight on how development went down and all that kind of stuff, which I will get to in a little bit. But before anything else, we gotta get to the real important issue, cup noodles. Now, you guys may recall that a while ago there was the cup noodle video that we got, which showed off a bunch of different stuff, but the main one that got a lot of people's attention was the part where Noctis is using Armiger, and he's got a cup noodle helmet as well as cup noodle themed Armiger weapons. And well, as you may guess from the fact that I am talking about this, that's gonna be in the game. So you guys remember back in the 30th anniversary event when they announced all of the 15 Final Fantasy villains related cup noodles that you can buy? Well, apparently, if you buy those, you're going to get a special code that you can enter onto your Final Fantasy 15 game to get what is called the Cup Noodles headgear. Now, not only am I incredibly disappointed because this, as of now, is only exclusive to Japan, but you also have to pay $50 for the DLC, basically, and I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna eat all those cup noodles. It's kind of like that one jacket that you can get in Final Fantasy 15 if you buy the real jacket. Except this one's not $400 goddamn dollars. However, don't lose all hope just yet, because in the statement, it did actually say that the people who bought the Cup Noodles pack, which I kinda want, no lie, just to have as a collection, but those people will get the DLC early. They didn't announce if they were going to release it afterwards as regular DLC, but presumably they will if they said early. It's kind of like how the Final Fantasy VII remakes say, oh, coming first to PlayStation 4. It's like, we know that it's coming to the Xbox and like probably PC or some stuff, but it's coming first to PS4, despite the fact that it hasn't been confirmed for Xbox One. You know what I mean, right? I'm just really curious as to what exactly this DLC is gonna be. Like, is it just gonna be an outfit, like a helmet for Noctis, and can you wear it with other outfits other than just his regular outfit? Because I don't know about you guys, but I want my Noctis wearing the tux with the Cup Noodles helmet. You gotta look fancy when you're doing that stuff. And also, like I said, in the picture, Armiger was also just a bunch of forks holding like different parts of the cup noodle, so I wonder if that is going to affect Armiger as well, or if it's just going to be for the outfit, because I personally really want the Armiger thing, but I guess we'll see. And that is going to become available sometime during the summer, so look forward to that. But in all seriousness, the real reason that you guys all came here for, a Game Informer recently sat down with the god himself, Monsieur Hajime Tabata, and they talked about the story of the game, as I mentioned earlier. Now, there was actually a lot of stuff in the interview that I don't exactly have time to cover all in one video, but I'll basically try to get to the major points for you guys. And wasn't it just the very last video that I made where I was talking about all of the cut story content and that kind of stuff that was taken off the game to be included as DLC? And Tabata's addressing it literally like this came out the day that the video went up. Like, this can't be a coincidence. Tabata must watch my videos, guys. God, I'm starting to sound like you-know-who. Anyway, so off-screen events, right off the bat, what did Tabata have to say about that? Well, basically, to all of the stuff that takes place that we don't really get to see on the game, his excuse, I guess, quote-unquote, was the fact that he wanted to tell the story through Noctis's eyes. So a lot of people said, oh, there should have been like playable Luna sections of the game, or maybe the parts where the party splits up, you should get to go with them, or choose to go with them if you want to and find out what happens. But Tabata specifically made Final Fantasy 15 story to be Noctis' story. That's why we don't get to see any of the Kingsglaive stuff, because Noctis wasn't there. We don't get to see any of the Niflheim stuff, because Noctis wasn't there. We don't get to see when the party splits up, because Noctis wasn't there. Now, admittedly, this doesn't really make up for the fact that you don't get to see that, and the fact that they just kind of took it out for some of them, because yes, even though that stuff happens with other characters and Noctis is not there to see it, somebody had to sit down and write the fact that it happens with other characters, and Noctis doesn't get to see it. The really funny part, though, the part from this entire interview that I find the most hilarious is this quote, and I'm gonna read it to you guys, right? Tabata, this is a thing that he said, and I quote, we didn't want to create a comprehensive and perfectly balanced story in this game. Well then, so, I mean, what can I say? I can't even get mad at him because he purposely made it unbalanced and uncomprehensive, if that makes any sense. Because why wouldn't you, right? I mean, just take the Nomura approach, might as well. No, guys, this makes perfect sense, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. Really? Think about it. But yeah, he basically just said that he wanted to tell the story of the 4 main characters and not the story of the world. That's what all of the expanded media was supposedly for, so I guess it kind of makes sense, but really? But another one of people's major complaints was that towards the end of Final Fantasy XV, the latter half, if you will, the story gets really linear. And believe it or not, Tabata also had a quote-unquote excuse. I don't like calling it excuses, but I mean, let's be real. That's kind of what they are. So according to Tabata, making the second half of Final Fantasy XV just as open as the first half would have supposedly doubled the cost and time that it took to make Final Fantasy XV, which just, holy fucking shit, doubled the entire cost and time. Okay, when he says time, presumably he doesn't mean another 10 years of development, but, you know, probably another 2 to 3 years of development, which is still ridiculously long, especially because I feel like the areas, the 3 really big open areas that they had in the game, have been done for quite a while. I mean, pretty much all of the Dusky region was complete in Episode Dusky. Sure, not everything that was in it in the final game was in it in the demo, but the region itself was basically complete. But the fact that it took 3 more years, I cannot wrap my head around that. I literally cannot. But the money too. They would have apparently lost twice as much as they did developing Final Fantasy XV if they had done this to the latter half. Now, supposedly, this was planned from the beginning. They never intended to have the second half be this linear. Although, admittedly, by Tabata's own accord, the second half was supposed to be you going to different places in the car and that kind of stuff. It wasn't necessarily supposed to be Chapter 13. And we obviously know that Final Fantasy XV had some time issues towards the end of development. I mean, one look at the optional dungeons of the game will tell you all that you need. I guess it really depends on the individual person if saying it was intentional is good enough for them. Like, I'm not saying that Final Fantasy XV is bad, but to use a hypothetical example, let's say that there is a movie or a book that has a bad story, and then the director comes out and says, we purposely wrote it to be bad. Does that really excuse it? I mean, obviously, like I said, this doesn't perfectly apply to Final Fantasy XV, but it is pretty darn close. And of course, because I always have to make this disclaimer when I say that something in Final Fantasy XV is bad, no, I did not hate the game. Yes, it does have some really good aspects to it, but I'm not gonna pretend like all of it was perfect, because it wasn't. I guess at the end of the day, it really just depends on the individual person and what they think about it, but I am just the messenger in this case. I guess let me know in the comments what you guys think about all of this, but either way, that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to blitz that like button, subscribe, and as always, stay tuned for all things Final Fantasy. See you guys.